Again, my name is Jim Steiner from Mir34 Productions here in Madison. We also have an office in Los Angeles. For 26 years, we were known as Pro Video and Film in Madison, Wisconsin. 8 years ago, we opened up an LA office. 18 months ago, we changed our name, did a brand identity change, and went to Mir34. Interesting name, I know you're saying that. We didn't change the name just to change the name, okay? We did a bunch of research. Everybody asked us what Mir34 means. Well, in Los Angeles, the latitude is 34. Madison, Wisconsin, 43. So that was just too much irony to leave on the deck. So we said, nah, let's do it. So the good news is we went from taking our research from our project about our brand recognition, and people don't think we make or repair VCRs anymore. So we got that going for us. So we are a video production company. And what we do is we tell stories. That's what we're good at. We work with customers all over the country, and we tell their story. We work with them on a strategy. We work with them on a brand. And then we help them deliver those stories to the customers, to the market. And so today, what I want to do is talk a little bit about some of the pitfalls of producing video in today's world. How many people are video producers here? Produce video, edit, shoot? Okay, good, good. That's pretty good, actually. I figured the gaming industry would have a lot more of that in their business. And trust me, guys, this is not a fire and brimstone speech on marketing and everybody should use video. I'm assuming in 2017 that you're using it some way, somehow, to help build your brand. These traps I've seen over and over and over again, and they're not mutually exclusive to big, giant brand companies, small companies, big companies. They all fall in these traps, okay? And it's not uncommon. The bigger the company, the farther they fall, okay? So I want to bring up an example of a spot right away. I apologize, we didn't produce this. It's a little bit older, but I think it holds up, but it puts the point I'm going to try to make. Go ahead, Drew.
Sponge. How's everything look?
Looks good. Looks real good.
What's his BP?
120/80.
Okay, folks. Close him up.
You're not Dr. Stewart.
No. But I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
So I call this impaired judgment, okay? Here's a guy who's refreshed, had a good night's sleep, and he thinks he can perform surgery, right? So the reason that's funny is because it's an ad. But in real life, you know, if you own a camera or if you have editing equipment on your computer, you're not the best comedy director, okay? You're not casting out of Los Angeles. You're not looking for a OR set on the back lot at Paramount, okay? You're just not doing that. That's not what you do. I can tell you that in the last 28 years that I've been doing this professionally, you know, I've done videos for retailers, manufacturers, lumber yards, you name it. I have a series that's produced over 1,800 different medical programs about surgeries and medical procedures, okay? And never once have I thought of taking my daughter's tonsils out in the kitchen, okay? I can't do that. I'm not going to limit my opportunities to do that. I don't think you guys should either. You know, think about the space that you want to live in for your message and your content. Look for that partner when you're putting together your video content. I think that's a common mistake that people make, okay? Let's go to our next one. I like this one. This one's fun. Always double check your tweets, okay? You've got a really great idea, but no one will tell you it's not necessarily a great idea, okay? So how many times have you hit or sent or posted something and you've immediately regretted it as soon as you hear that sound? Okay, it happens to all of us. It doesn't have to happen at 2 o'clock in the morning. It happens, you know? So the point here is, guys, don't fall in love with your own creative, all right? A great example of this, and Drew will cue it up here in a second, is the Kendall Jenner campaign that came out recently. Does Is everybody here familiar with that? Okay. That was all done by an internal creative team at Pepsi. Who's policing them internally? Who do you think sat down with them and challenged them, is this the best idea, and can we make this the best idea possible? Who do you think did that? I don't think anybody did. And clearly, they didn't. Because when Saturday Night Live does a spoof on that, that's just bad PR, folks. Bad. My rule of thumb is, have your team challenge you. I don't care if it's your internal marketing team, your internal video team, your ad agency, your production partner. Don't get so single-mindedly focused on your idea that you're going to lose the big picture. Okay? How many are you all Wisconsin natives, people from the area, for the most part? Great example was the grocery store out of Platteville, the Dick's Insider card. The owner of the grocery store told me, as God is my witness, I had no idea what that meant. And they printed out hundreds of thousands of these cards. It lasted one day. Because he had an idea, and they rolled with it. So challenge yourself. Ask your partners, is it the best ad you can be? Let's take a little look at that paragraph, Drew. So that's bad, guys. All right? Challenge each other. Make sure it's the best you can be before it goes out. Don't fall in love with your own creative. All right? Has anybody heard the term stack 'em and snack 'em? It's a vernacular used quite often now in the marketing world. It's about content. All right? Gathering content, shooting video is expensive. Can be, especially if you're unorganized. But what's happening now in the industry, I don't care if you're McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Budweiser, there's so many different outlets and so many different channels that you can channel your message out to and customize it, right? So what people are doing is they're preparing and they're doing more work up front in the planning stage. And they're shooting all of their content, or a bulk of it, around how can I slice it off and send it over here? How can I send one piece over to Instagram? So what happens is, guys, instead of shooting a bunch of stuff and then writing the script afterwards to what you shot, it's planning. Okay? Don't fall into that trap. Hey, we got to shoot. We got to get all this stuff. Have a plan for it. Have a strategy. All right? Very, very cost-effective planning to do that all up front. Get your bulk of stuff, slice a piece off for Instagram. This goes to Facebook. This is what we're using on this channel. This is for our broadcast production, for television, for commercials, whatever it is. So think about it in bulk. The other nice thing about that is that there's content you can pick up if you're shooting at your location or of your facility that maybe you can use for HR, maybe for recruitment for employees, overall video of your company's message and parameters. If you're going to do that, swinging the camera 180 degrees while you're there is very cost effective. You're just amortizing those costs. So you need to think about stack them and snack them. How much can we shoot in this 2 or 3 day period, and how can we slice off pieces that go to the different channels? Okay? Too many people rush out and they want to shoot this idea, and then they try to retrofit that later. Here's an example. We just produced a commercial for the Wisconsin Lottery. It's going to be out for the holiday season with penguins. Tremendous amount of moving parts. We're talking about real live penguins shot in Wisconsin in October, but with snow on the ground at night. Okay? That's a lot of moving parts. We shot everything to the board, the storyboard, boom, 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 boom. Spent 2 very long nights, right, Drew? Getting that stuff done. And now they're so happy with it. Can we make a 15? Could we make a 45? Could we make a 9? Can we make a 7? Can we make a 3? Sure, but you're going to just be able to use what we got. Had we thought about that going a little farther forward, we could have maybe added a shot or took another angle here and used it, okay? So you don't have to be an expert in marketing to forget that. Sometimes you get the forest through the trees. This is what you do. This is your job. We got to shoot this commercial. Here's the board. Let's go. But think about how you can repurpose it. You got everybody out there. It's the middle of the night. We just made a bunch of snow. Is there another shot we could possibly get that we might use? We shoot behind-the-scenes stuff with everything that we do and just give it to the customer. Here, guys, here's a bunch of cool footage of behind the scenes. Lights, cameras, penguins in the snow, all that. They're now using a lot of that for their social content. So just keep that in mind. Be careful of that trap. We go on, Drew. So feeding the beast is interesting. Nobody makes 20-minute videos anymore, right? Especially in the gaming industry, years ago we used to make videos for paper manufacturers on machines that cost $15 million. And they'd make a 20-minute video and it would last for 7 years. Nobody does that anymore, okay? You need to feed that beast. And the good news is, in my opinion, the video gaming industry is like the energy drink of video content. You guys have so much cool stuff. I just don't understand why it's not pumped out all day long, every day. I mean, you've got great content. You've created these worlds. You've got these environments. People are eating it up. And I will tell you, a lot of people in our business will tell you that you need to be patient about your content. Oh, let's get it out there. Let's see if it'll penetrate the market. Bull. You don't have time for that because somebody else is ahead of you already. If you're sitting in this meeting today, somebody's ahead of you. Okay? So you got to be smart. You got to stay on your strategy. And you got to release great content again and again and again. Okay? That's how you grow it. Of course, you have to have great search engine optimization and all of those things, a good understanding of your customers, making sure you're on point on your strategy, but get the content and get it out there. People are clamoring for it. For example, we just finished a campaign for Quick Trip. Did anybody know that they are the official convenience store of the Minnesota Vikings? Me neither. But they spend almost $1 million for that privilege, okay? And they're the official convenience store of the Minnesota Vikings. Well, this is a part of their brand new campaign. This is that content. Get it out there. Make it fresh. Make it different, but make it great. They came to us and said, we want something very simple, Sports Center-ish, funny, subtle humor. This is a convenience store. This is a convenience store that's never done anything like this, okay? But they're spending almost $1 million to be this partner. They need to leverage that. So this is a spot that we just did for them, and here's what happens to this. They put it on Facebook, and in the first week, they get 500,000 views. Okay, I've done national commercials and Super Bowl ads that don't get 500 views. This is a factor of 10 times any other video that they've ever shown in terms of social, because it's fresh and it's different and it's content. So they're feeding the beast. See it?
Okay, huddle up. Right 681. H-drag, Z-dig, X-go.
Wait, what? I don't get it.
Sandwiches, chips, beverages. I got snacks. Break! Let's go, rookies! Go, Vikings! Woo! Let's go, Vikings! Let's go, Vikings!
So real subtle. Very, not overt in your face, pie in the face, anything like that. But it's blowing up their social channels, okay? Even so much so that the comments on Facebook of the Packer fans, they're starting to reconsider that. But now they know that they've got people's attention and they're pushing product through their store, okay? So it works. So what are we looking at next? Oh, yeah. Good, fast, or cheap. Who's heard this? How many do you get to pick? 2. That's right. You know how you get 3? You got to have volume, volume, volume. All right? Then you can get all of them. But you got to have the volume. All right? So, again, I will tell you guys, I don't know enough about your industry, but I know that your audience is the most sophisticated viewer there is. My audience, the guys who watch the Quick Trip ad, are watching it wedged between the news and the weather, and they've probably been sitting in a neighborhood bar and have gout, okay? Probably. But your customers, your clients, your people are right here, man. And they're right on it. And they're judging you on everything. The look, the feel, the quality, does it do what they want it to do? Have you planned it out enough? So you've got a tough audience, guys. So if you're going to push content and you're going to tell your story, which again is 2017, I'm assuming you all are, if you go with a low-cost provider and they see it, they see this much of it, you're going to lose them. In our business, what goes on the screen, you get what you pay for, and they see it. People ask me all the time, why do used car commercials look so bad? It's a great question. Because they don't pay for them. They buy the media at the TV station, and the TV station does them for free. That's why they look so bad. So, good, fast, or cheap, you get to pick two. So, remember that, and that's a trap. And again, you don't have to be a small company. Big companies make this mistake all the time. Everybody in business today is trying to stretch their dollar to go farther. Okay? Strategy. Have a plan. Doesn't matter how big your company is. Have a plan. Strategize. Double check your strategy. Here's the good news. You guys get to control the message. That's you. Here's a great example. Last year we did all the promos for a movie. I don't know if anybody of you have seen it, called The Deadpool. Okay? 20th Century Fox, right? So here was their strategy. Let's do customized promos for everybody. I don't care if it's Bob, who has a blog, a video blog, or MTV Brazil. Do you have a blog? Oh, okay, right? They did everything. They did everything, okay? Ryan Reynolds is fantastic, super cool guy, went up to Canada and shot. He would do 17 in a day. And he just carpet bombed them. Good news is, it released as the #1 rated R-rated movie ever in the history of cinema, okay? Over 5 million eyeballs on social media. It was unbelievable. But they controlled the content. So let's take a quick look. They even did one for the country of Australia.
It's almost Australia Day. I mean, seriously, I'd fit right in with your proud nation, with its shady criminal past and its predilection for blackout drinking and unrelenting condescension toward New Zealand. Only one teeny problem. You gave us Wolverine. And for that, I can't forgive you. I've got no problems with Hugh. I mean, he's a delightful guy, he really is. True legend. But the movie, that was a career low for me. You understand. Anywho, why am I here? Oh, right. Happy Australia Day. Because that's a real thing. Throw another shrimp on the Barbie. I know you say that one too. Oh shit, that's a hat. You guys wear this. I thought I was getting swarmed by fucking diddly Australian bees.
It's great stuff, right? All right, consumer-generated content. You guys know what that is, right? That's when your customers are posting videos about you. If they're doing it, great, you're winning. All right? Here's the trap. Don't try to recreate it. That whole amateur feeling is real and it's genuine, and you can't recreate it. Not at that level, not at any level, okay? You're going to lose all kinds of credibility. We're going to show you a Chick-fil-A spot. Go ahead and go to the next one. It already says inspired by a real story. Go ahead, Drew, that's fine. Inspired by a real story. And it says a dramatization. And they're shooting it like it's over.
Only give me one. Are you serious? Wait.
Hey, Mama, you're gonna be an abuela. Your face.
Yeah, this is how she tells me.
So, and again, I know what they're trying to do. It's part of a strategy. I wouldn't encourage it. It's a trap. You just lose credibility all the time when you do that. Influencers and spokespeople. We know this, right? Arnold Schwarzenegger, Kate Upton, is that her name? I don't run in those circles, Drew does, but Aaron Rodgers, great example, right? Those are awesome. We all know what celebrity endorsements can do for your product. Influencers, you know what those are now? Those are social media people. Those are people that are blowing up the internet, have 40,000 followers, 500,000 followers, whatever they are. They're not mainstream media. They're not conventional or traditional media darlings, movies, commercials, sports, but they're influencers nonetheless. And they can be very, very impactful for your business. And you know why? Because if they have 50,000 followers and you just hired them to promote your product, you got their 50,000 followers. You just bought that channel. Very, very important. The other trap, make sure you vet them. Because they say something wrong in the media, the bigger their following, the more under the microscope they get. So don't make this your single campaign. Make it a part of a campaign, but don't put all your eggs in that basket. I always tell people to have a plan B. And these are always serial. They're episodic. So they're usually not one in a row. So again, don't put all those eggs in one basket. Old Navy, we do a lot of stuff for them. This little boy here on the right-hand side, I think, has 250,000 followers. He's like a dance craze on the internet. And this young man is now an up-and-coming star on the ABC TV show Blackish. They don't tell him who they are. They're just in the commercial. Go ahead, Drew. So we did that for them. Remember we talked about stackable and snackable content? We just finished the 12 Days of Christmas campaign for them. Guess how many they're going to roll out 12 days before Christmas, right? So one 30-second spot has all 12, but they have each 12 as separate, and they're all going to be their own viral campaign. Okay? I can't tell you who's in it, but that's how that works. Again, stackable, snackable content. All right. What's the right media mix? Angry Birds made a movie. Or somebody made a movie about Angry Birds. Okay? Amazing. So, can you make a movie? Sure. Can you do episodic television? Saturday morning cartoons with your superheroes? Of course. Okay? How do you do it? You gotta build a following. I don't care if you call it audience, eyeballs, following, whatever it is. It starts here. More and more people see it, like it, watch it, be a part of it. Everybody wants to back a winner, guys. Everybody does. Angry Birds made a movie. So if you can believe in it, and I think we're all in business because we believe in what we do, then you can do it. But you can't jump to the front right away. You can't walk into a movie studio in Los Angeles and say, my superhero is ready for its own movie. Doesn't work like that. That's a cutthroat business there, and they will spit you out. Drew used to work there for entertainment lawyers, right? Or agents? Producers. Brutal. But, again, you know what they can't argue about? If you got 500,000 followers, 5 million followers, they won't argue with that. Everybody wants to back a winner, okay? So, Angry Birds. Just remember that. You can do it if you want to. All right, picking your team. Again, whether it's inside or outside, look for good character in a company. Someone who's got good quality bandwidth. Someone that can handle your project, okay? I always tease the people in our office is that we're competing against people who still live in their mom's basement because the cost of entry is so low. $3,000, you live in your mom's basement, and you can compete against a company who's been around for almost 30 years and works on national brands. Sad to say, but true, okay? I'm pretty sure the guy who lives in his mom's basement doesn't have the bandwidth of our company. So you're willing to put your hard-earned money and your product in their hand? Good luck. Okay? Think about this. always try to get at least 3 bids. Ask good questions, all right? Do they use a payroll service or do they pay 1099 to the freelance people in the market? It's a big question, okay? Because somebody's got to pay the tax, guys. The guy who lives in his mom's basement's not doing it. I'd be curious to know if he's even charging you tax. The state finds out about it, somebody's going to pay it, and your name's on there. So you want to get looped into that? That's bad. So you want to find a company that knows how to do business right, and that's a good quality person, all right? Because here's the reality. Ask them if they have production insurance. What happens if a light stand falls on top of somebody's head in the middle of a shoot? Or you knock out a window in the house that you're renting to shoot that day? Who's paying for that? A lot of companies don't do that. And they don't do it the right way. And you, as the customer, will ultimately be dragged into it. Protect yourself. Because you don't want your great idea to turn into a $5 million lawsuit. It's not worth it. It's just not. Last but not least, have fun. It's a really hard process, and it's a lot of tension, and there's a lot at risk. You're putting yourselves out there. You're telling your story. It's a lot at risk. A lot of pressure on you. A lot of pressure on your production partners, okay? Have fun. Find people who can laugh and do great work at the same time. There's just way too much stress in these deals. It's too hard to work, and if you don't enjoy it and have fun doing it, then don't do it. Do print ads. Those are easier. Thanks, guys. I appreciate being here today. Any questions? I kind of went over my time. All right. Any questions? Yes, sir.
Yeah, so understood when you talked about consumer-generated content.
Yeah.
Kind of falling into the trap of don't try to recreate something. How would you suggest going about that with a limited budget, where if you're a brand looking to hold stake in your own credibility, but have the budget of someone doing it at home?
Remember, you get to control the content when you produce it, okay? So you don't have to be rich to spend money foolishly. You know what that means? Have a plan, okay? Have a plan. People ask me all the time, well, how much does a video cost? Well, how much does a car cost? Some cost $3,000, some cost $300,000, okay? They still get you from A to B, right? So have a plan. Not every video has to cost X. Maybe it's just a simple, straightforward, one-shot deal, but it's a great idea, okay? I've produced million-dollar jobs that are just terrible. You ever heard the expression, polishing a turd? Okay? That's what it is, but they had all kinds of money to throw at it. It's not a great idea. Sorry, guys, it's not a great idea. We use the analogy like a carpenter. You try to tell the person you're building the home for, putting a toilet in the kitchen is not a great idea. It's just not. And you could tell them and tell them and tell them, but if they want the toilet in the kitchen, okay. And then when they hate it, because again, it's not our job to be right. Our job is to give you everything that we can based on our experience and what we've developed and the kinds of levels of success we've been a part of. Okay? When the guy doesn't like the toilet in the kitchen, he pays me to take it out. Okay? Again, it's not about being right. So to answer your question, if you have a great idea and it follows your strategy, it doesn't have to cost $1 million. This campaign for Chick-fil-A could have been a whole lot better and it would have had been expensive. But once they do the dramatization and all that, how many ads do you see about doctors or pharmaceuticals and they say, doctor portrayed by actor? Dude, where's the credibility in that? Then guess what they talk about? They talk about all the symptoms, and you'd rather have the disease than take the medicine. So don't be intimidated by price. Have a great idea and a great strategy. Or have a great strategy, build a great idea. And then compartmentalize, get a bunch of it, slice it off. You don't have to spend a ton of dough to do that. You just have to be smart. Any other questions? You guys have been great. I think, what time's happy hour open? I hope it's right after this. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Have a good rest of your week.